Zoom record. Crap. All right. So what Jaden, for instance, is going to do is prepare an answer. Prepare, even in theory, in your own mind. You don't have to write it down if you don't want to. You just have to be pretty sharp to be able to remember all the details. Write down an outline, write down however you want to do it for your discussion notes for Thursday. Then, when the assignment goes up, Jaden will notice, Jaden and Mohit, Morgan and Emily and everyone in group 1 will notice that there are 5 questions from the colliding culture section, one of which will be the question they've already done. So, and I'll say choose one question from that section. Well, you'd be kind of a dope or a masochist to choose a different question than one you've already worked on. See what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Let me just show you what. Let's see if I can do this without scrolling up. Let's see, courses. So what do I do this? How did I do that this summer? You can see I'm scrolling around here, right? Okay, so here's assignment 1 for the course I did this summer, right? And you see here that they're even listed by chapter: Reconstruction, Capital and Labor. 5 questions for each, and it says choose one question from each of chapters 15 through 17 and answer it in a short essay of 1 to 2 pages, single spaced. Okay, now it turns out that the summer class, we had kind of similar problems, so we dropped the industrial America question that week, so to speak, or because we were having problems. And so they only had to answer 3 questions. So this is what's going to, but this is the kind of format you're going to get. You're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 chapters, right? 5 questions per chapter. You choose one question per chapter and turn it in as your assignment. Let me see if I can, without breaking confidentiality, let me see if I can figure out a way to show you. I don't know how I can do this without breaking confidentiality. Show you a sample answer. I guess not, because this is an old class. I might not be able to. But Skylar, I seem to have confused you initially, but now you're not confused. Is that right? Frankly, folks, the problem with these, one of the problems with these online courses is it's very difficult to give a test. You know, I can't, there are time tests and there are all kinds of things you can do to try to stop students from so-called cheating, but they're very difficult to do, and they're very difficult to do in history. And I sort of think of this class as 2 things: not only an introduction to this period of American history, but an introduction to, as a history skills course. This is how you write a good short essay in history. And so I want this to be an open book, workshop-y course, where we constantly go over, okay, this is good, but you need to bring in more material from the reader. This is okay, but you didn't really answer the question. So there's a constant back and forth between you and me about your answers. And the only way to do that with any degree of effectiveness is I can't spring something on you and say, you have 30 minutes to write this answer and you have to use documents from your reader because you're going to be going back and forth. That's just not, that wouldn't work, and that wouldn't be pedagogically useful, right? It wouldn't teach you anything, wouldn't help teach you anything. So the whole class is going to be a kind of take-home situation. So can I get an amen or something from some people telling me what you think? Well, if you get it now.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I got it.
I get it.
Does anyone not get it? Maybe you haven't had a class like this before. This is not the way I normally teach, because of course I normally teach in person. But I thought a lot about this. I talked a lot about with my colleagues, and I think this is the best way to do both. The only one-page thing due is the big. Skylar's writing. The only one-page thing due is the big assignment that will be the big assignment will be assigned. You choose one of the questions to expand on. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. Now, if you read what Skylar said. Now, I might, because I want the discussions to be evenly balanced in terms of how much work each student has to do, I've literally assigned you by name to a specific question. Now, if you particularly love history and you want to answer question, and you've been assigned question 2 for the discussion, but you want to answer question 1 on the assignment, that's fine. Okay. I'm always of the opinion, especially during these times when it's COVID and we don't really know what's going on, that it's good to double dip, to build on what you've already done. So if Anna has to prepare material for an answer for the discussion for number 2, it'd be more efficient to then use that, choose that question when the assignment comes out. Is that okay? But if you, for instance, if I assign you to, I'm assigning you basing, if I get this list and I made a little grid so that everyone's, next week, this group's going to get the first question and on and on. So I changed it all around. So you'll get a range of different questions. But let's say Anna, for example, happens to be very interested in what role missionaries played in Spanish colonization. Well, and even though she hasn't been assigned that for Thursday, she can answer it on the test, on the essay assignment, if she wants. Right? Am I beating a dead horse here? Have you already figured it out?
Yeah, that you definitely cleared up a lot. Thank you.
Okay, I'm really sorry about that. I thought that made perfect sense, but this is exactly what happened last time. So clearly, I have to. I don't know. Maybe in the next semester, I should just plan the whole first week to be a sort of strategy session to teach people how to take these courses. Okay. What that means is I don't have time to lecture fully today, but that's kind of okay because the lectures are an hour. Because what I did and what I think I'd like to do, what I'd like to continue to do, is this is our section. I recorded a lecture with PowerPoints and all that and put it on your module here. Okay. So today's lecture is here. So you click on Colliding Cultures lecture. What? All right, well, you click on Colliding Cultures, then if you get this crappy thing from YouTube, click on that top thing. Click on this top thing where it says Colliding Cultures, and it takes you to this YouTube page where you see my lecture. Now, if I play this, by the way, can you hear it over your speakers?
No.
No, I can't.
No.
You can't. Okay. All right. Well, the reason I put these on YouTube was because when I tried to put them on Canvas last semester using the Panopto program and stuff like that, it wouldn't take them. So my guess, and I think it was because they were too big in terms of you know, number of megabytes or whatever. But the lecture is here. It's the audio of me lecturing plus PowerPoint slides to explain things, plus some illustrations as you go along, right? Some outlines of what, you know, English immigration, English settlement in the Chesapeake, on and on and on for about an hour. So, sorry, it keeps playing and I keep hearing myself talk. For instance, let me just say, for example, I give you the seal of Massachusetts Bay Colony here. And Massachusetts Bay Colony is more or less what we, back then, what we would now call New England. It was made up of what eventually became the states of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Vermont, New Hampshire. Oh, well, that was technically a tough question. And Maine. Okay, it may not have included New Hampshire. I can't remember. But anyway, one of the points about this illustration is that they choose the Massachusetts Bay Colony, English Massachusetts Bay in New England, right? This insignia of the Society of Massachusetts Bay, New England. They chose as their image a Native American, right, who is saying, this is like a cartoon bubble. This is the way that cartoon bubbles were kind of written back in those days. It's saying, come over and help us. And historians have always found this image very interesting because, of course, it's an example of this European, the settler idea that part of their role, by the time the Massachusetts Bay Company is actually colony is actually founded, part of their role is to help Native Americans become what European settlers thought was civilized. Right? So there are pictures like that in various parts of the lecture, and I try to explain them as I go along. This is a picture of Roger Williams, who is the most important person in Rhode Island, and stuff like that. And so there's another good Native American picture in here somewhere. No, well, anyway, there's a lot going on in these lectures. This is a picture, for instance, of tobacco processing, and one of the things that's very interesting about it is the class of cultures, the collision of cultures between indentured servants here in the foreground, pressing tobacco leaves, and slaves laying out the leaves and getting them to dry. So it uses a lot of images like that, in addition to having maps, in addition to having explanatory outlines and stuff like that. Okay, so with your kind permission, I'd like to keep doing this. And what I think that's going to mean is, in other words, I like to keep recording all the lectures and having them up on YouTube for you the weekend before, the day before class. I know it sounds like I keep changing the class as we go along, and maybe I do. But so today's lecture is on YouTube, and I would like next Tuesday's lecture to be on YouTube as well. I think it's silly to spend class time just lecturing to you and you sit there and listen to it. You can listen to it, watch the YouTube video at a different time more, and you can stop it every 20 minutes and take a break or whatever. I think that's much more effective if we're doing online stuff. And then I'd like to use the time that I would have spent blabbing on here about stuff like, okay, I liked how the discussion about missionaries went, but we need also remember this, and I could add some stuff in or explain something that might have been more confusing, had been somewhat confusing during the discussion days. Okay, so is that all right with everyone, these recorded lectures?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Sounds
okay.
good.
Now, let me also show you. Now, I'm kind of pissed. I'm not kind of pissed off. I'm very pissed off that you have this crap YouTube fused to collect. So anyway, always click on this. See this thing at the top that has a little arrow. Always click on that. Now, here is the lecture, but also I think you can go to, yeah, here's I have a YouTube channel, right? And you can go to that channel and see, now a lot of these are from last semester, okay? But our class is here. And what I've done as well, and I hope this works, I've never done this before, is I've created a playlist so that your playlist is here. So all the lectures for your class will be here, right? All the lectures for the other class I'm teaching are in here, will be in here. I don't know if any of you are also in that class, but so there are ways to look at, there are ways to go back. In addition to using the module system, whereas you would click on Colliding Cultures module lecture, or if you wanted to go back and look at that lecture after 3 weeks, you could click on it. You can also go to the YouTube channel and play around. Now, let me just double check that there aren't any dumb home videos on here. I don't think there are, because I just used this for this class and last semester's class. So if you happen to be burning to know about the 1960s, there are some lectures here, lectures about the 1970s. But again, our class will be pretty obvious. It'll say US till 1865, and then give the title of the module, right? Okay, so now, before I keep going and getting myself into deeper and deeper water, what questions do you have about that and life in general?
So far, I'm pretty good.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get back up to this. I want to see.
Same here.
I want to see everybody, and I don't. So that means I have to stop sharing screen, so I can't tell who's talking. Okay. I really don't like how my Mac tells me every 5 seconds what's going on. I'll change that. Anyway, so Ian said, you're okay, is that right?
Yep.
Can I get some other sort of
I'm good. I understand.
I understand as well.
okay.
Likewise.
No, okay. Now I notice a number of you, Noah, for instance, Skylar, for instance, did send in these answers, and I am going to go over them tonight and critique them and say, okay, if this were an essay, this were part of your essay assignment, you would get 75. And in order to get an 85, you have to do this. In order to get a 95, you have to do that.
Okay.
Got it.
So, but
Might
that's
be a
going
little
to take me.
rough.
What?
It might be a little rough.
Well, yeah, but again, that's why I called it a trial run. I don't know why in the world this cup looks like a soup bowl. Every time I use it, I gotta get a tiny, it's a normal sized coffee cup, but it just gets us closer to the, yeah, I have to get one of those. This thing looks like I'm King Kong or something. Anyway. Okay, thanks for that. I'll get a normal cup. That's really all I was gonna say. So go back online and look at your, and read and play that lecture either now or when you have time, but get this stuff ready for Thursday. Okay, remember, I want, well, let me just give you some advice on this too. The most important thing with these discussion questions, both as questions for the discussion. Whoops, got someone in the waiting room. Crap, sorry about that. How do I? Alana, did you just come in via the waiting room? Alana, are you there? Oh crap! I think what happened is when I went to share screen, it cuts off the waiting room or something. Okay. Well, Alana, can you? This is Alana Malloy. Can you tell me whether you're there or not? Oh, you're here. Okay, sorry. Did you miss most of today? Because well, you were in the waiting room and I was sharing screen, so I didn't see that you were in the waiting room. Did you hear what I was saying for the last half hour? Oh, it just kicked. Oh, you. Well, anyway, this is recorded, so I will put it up on oh crap, Canvas. I'll put it up on Canvas, and so that you'll be able to see what I said. But let me go back to what I was saying a second ago. That means also share screen again. Oh, I wish one of you wanted a part-time job as my assistant. The most important thing when getting this stuff ready, whether you're getting it ready for Thursday's discussion or the essay assignment, is to answer the question directly. Why did the Spanish, Dutch, French, and English treat Native American peoples differently? Okay. An awfully good starting sentence for that answer would be: the Spanish, Dutch, French, and English treated Native American peoples differently because, and then give 3 examples, and then you flesh out those 3 examples in the paragraphs of your essay. It doesn't do any good to start, in other words, hit me over the head directly with your answer. Doesn't do any good to tell me the Spanish came from Spain and the Dutch came from Holland and the English, and they came to North America. We all know that part. Dive right in and nail the question on top of your head. This isn't high school or junior high. You can get to the point immediately. So no long introductory sentences about history is a study of complex interactions between people of different cultures since the dawn of time and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't need all that. I need to know why the Spanish, Dutch, French, and English treated Native American peoples differently. And then I want you to use the remaining space on your in your answer to give me more detail and examples from the reader. Okay. Any questions?
Nope, I'm good this far.
Nope.
All right, who is not good? Elena, I know you may have gotten your you got kicked out and missed some of what I said, so I'll put the it on Canvas. Anybody else not with me? Okay, well, I'll edit there to give you time to at least dip into that lecture for the rest of this class period, and then maybe follow it up for at a different time. Okay?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right. So I will talk to you on
Yep.
Thursday, but as always, I will get back to those of you who submitted trial run questions tonight, and as always, email me or whatever if you have any problems. Okay?
Good deal.
Thank you.
Okay. Adios.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Nice day.
Everyone.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.